Watches are the one accessory that can tell the world exactly who you are before you say a single word. But most people have no idea what they are actually looking at. Today, that changes. Long before watches became a statement piece, people tracked time with shadows and water. Ancient Egyptians marked the hours with sundials around 3500 BCE. Fast forward a few thousand years, and the first mechanical clocks ticked away in European cathedrals. But it was not until the 16th century that the pocket watch made time personal, tucked away in the coats of merchants and aristocrats. Everything changed in the mud and chaos of World War I. Soldiers could not fumble for pocket watches in the trenches, so they strapped time to their wrists. The wristwatch, once seen as a novelty, instantly became essential gear. By 1930, wristwatches outsold pocket watches for the first time. Hollywood stars and athletes wore them, and soon everyone else wanted in. Watches started to mean more than just minutes and hours. They became badges of style, status, and adventure. In 1969, the Omega Speedmaster made history as the first watch certified by NASA for spacewalks. Buzz Aldrin wore his Speedmaster on the moon, timing every step on the lunar surface. From muddy trenches to lunar dust, the wristwatch proved it could keep up with history's boldest moves. That is how a simple tool became a symbol. Next, let us break down what actually makes up a watch. A watch is a tiny world on your wrist, and every part plays its role. Start with the case, the sturdy shell that protects everything inside. It is usually made from stainless steel, titanium, ceramic, or even gold. Next up is the dial, the watch's face where you read the time. Dials come in all styles, from simple black or white to mother of pearl or open-work designs that show off the movement underneath. The hands sweep across the dial, pointing out hours, minutes, and sometimes seconds. Some glow in the dark, others are razor thin or bold and chunky. On the side you will find the crown, a little knob for setting the time or winding the watch. If you see a ring around the crystal, that is the bezel. Think of it like the frame around a painting. Sometimes it rotates for timing dives or it just adds style. The crystal itself is the clear cover over the dial, made from sapphire, mineral glass, or acrylic. 4 lugs stretch out from the case, holding the bracelet or strap that keeps the watch on your wrist. Flip the watch over and you will find the case back, which can be solid or have a window to peek at the movement. Every piece serves a purpose, and knowing these names turns a jumble of metal and glass into something you can really understand. Next, let us see what is ticking inside. Inside every watch lies its secret. The movement is the engine that brings time to life. There are 3 main types, each revealing a different approach to precision. Quartz comes first. Here a battery sends electricity through a quartz crystal, making it vibrate at 32,768 times per second, a frequency chosen because it divides perfectly down to 1 pulse per second. This is the silent genius behind the Casio F91W, a watch so reliable you can leave it untouched for a year, swap the battery, and it is still on time. Quartz watches rarely drift more than 15 seconds a month. They are simple to care for, just change the battery every few years. No oil, no regular servicing, no watchmaker's bench required. Mechanical watches, though, are where the craft reveals itself. Automatic movements are powered by a mainspring, wound by the motion of your wrist. A spinning rotor inside captures each movement, tightening the spring. That stored energy moves through a series of gears and an escapement, which meters out each tick. The balance wheel swings back and forth, keeping everything in time. Around 200 parts work together in this tiny machine, and if you listen closely, you will hear the heartbeat of the watch, a sound absent from quartz. Most automatics keep time within 5 to 15 seconds a day. They need care. Every 3 to 5 years, a watchmaker must clean, oil, and replace worn parts. Synthetic rubies, called jewels, sit at key points to reduce friction. It is engineering, but also a kind of art. Manual watches strip things back even further. No battery, no rotor, just a crown you wind by hand each morning, feeling the tension build in the mainspring. It is a daily ritual, a link to tradition. Here's the paradox. A $15 quartz watch can outpace a $15,000 mechanical in accuracy. Quartz is the calculator, always right, always ready. Automatics and manuals are more like vinyl records, imperfect, mechanical, but deeply satisfying. The wonder lies in the contrast between relentless precision and the beauty of human craft. Picking a watch isn't just about specs, it's about finding your vibe. That is where the 6 core styles come in, each with its own personality. Picture a young professional stepping into a big meeting. A slim dress watch, maybe with a white dial and a leather strap, slips under the cuff and says, "I've got this." Dress watches are all about clean lines and quiet confidence. They are the finishing touch for formal wear, weddings, or any day you want to feel sharp. Now imagine someone who lives for adventure, always ready for a weekend hike or a spontaneous swim. The dive watch is their sidekick. These are chunky, bold, and built to take a beating, with rotating bezels, big luminous markers, and enough water resistance to handle anything from rainstorms to reef dives. The Rolex Submariner and Seiko Prospex Turtle are legends here, but even an affordable Citizen Pro Master can handle the deep end. Then there is the chronograph, the stopwatch you wear on your wrist. It's the choice for the person who loves action, whether it's racing, flying, or just timing their morning coffee. Extra subdials and pushers give it a sporty, technical look. The Omega Speedmaster, often called the Moonwatch, is the icon, but plenty of brands offer their take on this classic tool. Field watches are for the practical, no-nonsense types. Born from military roots, they are rugged, easy to read, and usually paired with a canvas or leather strap. The Hamilton Khaki Field is a modern favorite, ready for camping trips, city commutes, or anything in between. Pilot watches are all about legibility and big personality. Oversized dials, bold numerals, and sometimes a GMT hand for tracking multiple time zones. They are just as at home in a boardroom as they are in a cockpit. The IWC Big Pilot sets the standard, but you will find pilot styles at every price point. Finally, smartwatches bring the future to your wrist. Touchscreens, fitness tracking, notifications, and endless customization. If you want your watch to count steps, answer calls, or pay for coffee, this is your lane. The Apple Watch leads the pack, but options abound. Each style has its own story and suits a different lifestyle. Maybe you see yourself in more than one. That is the beauty of it. Watches aren't just about telling time, they're about telling your story. Next up, how to read the specs and choose the one that fits you best. Spec sheets look like a jumble of numbers and jargon until you know what to look for. But once you crack the code, you can size up any watch listing like a pro. Start with the case diameter, usually measured in millimeters. A 38mm watch feels classic and fits smaller wrists, while 42mm and up lands in bold, modern territory. Diameter is not the whole story. Lug-to-lug length matters just as much. That is the distance from one end of the case to the other where the strap connects. If your wrist is on the slim side, a long lug-to-lug can make even a smaller watch look oversized. The sweet spot for most people is under 50mm lug-to-lug, but the only way to know for sure is to measure your own wrist and compare. Next up, water resistance, often abbreviated WR, and followed by meters or atmospheres. 30 meters means splash-proof, fine for washing hands, but do not swim with it. 50 meters can handle a quick shower or a rainstorm. 100 meters is safe for swimming, and 200 meters or more is the dive-ready zone. These numbers come from lab tests, not real-world adventures, so it is always better to play it safe. Power reserve tells you how long a mechanical watch will run once fully wound. Quartz watches do not list power reserve because their battery lasts for years. Automatics and manual wind watches often range from 38 to 80 hours. A longer power reserve means you can take the watch off for a day or two and it will keep ticking. Lug width is another sneaky detail. Typical widths are 18, 20, or 22 millimeters. This controls which straps will fit, so if you like to swap between leather, rubber, or NATO, pay attention here. A mismatched strap will not sit right and could even fall off. Crystal type matters too. Sapphire is king for scratch resistance, mineral glass is common on affordable pieces, and acrylic shows up on vintage styles. Jewels refers to tiny synthetic rubies inside a mechanical movement. More jewels usually mean less friction and better durability, but do not get too hung up on the number. A good spec sheet is like a watch's resume. Once you know how to read it, you can spot what fits your wrist, your lifestyle, and your priorities. Whether that is water resistance for a pool day, a slim case for suit sleeves, or a power reserve that means you can forget to wind it over the weekend. Up next, how these specs, plus the name on the dial, shape where a watch sits in the pecking order. Step into the world of watch brands, and you'll find a ladder with rungs for every budget and ambition. At the entry level, brands like Casio, Seiko, Timex, and Citizen deliver the basics: reliable quartz timekeeping, sturdy cases, and easy style. Think of the Casio F91W, digital, lightweight, and nearly indestructible for less than the price of dinner. Or the Seiko SNK809, a mechanical legend under $150, powered by a movement Seiko also sells to brands twice its price. That's the secret. Seiko's NH35 and 4R36 engines show up everywhere, from micro brands to mid-range European names. The movement inside a $100 Seiko can sometimes be found in a $600 Baltic or a $700 Steinhardt, proving that price is about more than just what ticks inside. Climb into the mid-range and the perks stack up. Tissot, Hamilton, and Longines start adding Swiss-made automatics, sapphire crystals, and more refined finishing. The Tissot PRX, for example, brings an integrated bracelet, Swiss movement, and water resistance that can handle real life, all for under $800. Hamilton's Khaki Field offers military heritage and an 80-hour power reserve, enough to take off Friday and still have your watch running Monday morning. These watches feel weightier, more precise, and start to show off the little details: brushed steel, applied indices, exhibition casebacks. Luxury and ultra-luxury push the experience further. Omega and Tag Heuer bring in-house movements, chronometer certification, and design language that is instantly recognizable. At the very top, names like Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, and Rolex become less about features and more about legacy, scarcity, and prestige. The Patek Nautilus, for example, is famous not just for its shape or movement, but for the waiting lists that stretch for years and the resale prices that climb even higher. As one collector puts it, you're not just buying a watch, you're buying into a club. No matter the tier, what you get with each step is not just better specs. It is a jump in finishing, exclusivity, and the story behind the name on the dial. And thanks to movement suppliers like Seiko, the line between tiers can blur. What changes is how everything comes together. Now that you know the ladder, you're ready to understand why some watches cost as much as a car and why others are the best deal in the room. Some watches cost as much as a car, others are less than a night out. So what actually makes a watch valuable, and why do prices sometimes skyrocket? In the world of watches, the gap between passion and profit is real, and the numbers can be just as wild as the designs. Start with the basics. Every year, Switzerland exports around $25 billion worth of watches. That's not just luxury brands, that's the whole spectrum, from affordable quartz to high-end mechanical masterpieces. But not every watch is an investment. Most new watches lose value the moment you leave the store, just like a car. The exceptions are where things get interesting. Take Rolex. The Submariner, for example, has become a legend not just for its design, but for its resale power. A new Submariner often jumps $1,000 to $2,000 in value each year on the pre-owned market, sometimes more if the model is discontinued or in short supply. It is not just hype. Demand consistently outpaces supply, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for the right reference, in the right condition, with original box and papers. Then there are the auction block stories that make headlines. In 2019, a Patek Philippe Grandmaster chime sold for $31 million at Christie's, smashing records and turning heads beyond the watch world. But stories like this are rare. For every watch that explodes in value, There are thousands that quietly tick away, treasured for what they mean to the owner, not for their price tag. If you are thinking about value, remember, watches can be assets, but they are best enjoyed as wearable art. Buy what you love, not just what you think will go up. The real payoff comes from wearing a piece that fits your taste and your story. If it happens to hold or gain value, that is just a bonus. Next, let us break down how to actually shop for a watch, whether you are looking for a daily driver or a future heirloom. Buying your first watch should feel exciting, not overwhelming. Start with a budget and decide what you are comfortable spending, whether that is $50 for a Casio F91W or $700 for a Tissot PRX. Once you have your ceiling, think about your style and daily life. If you need something for the office and the weekend, a Seiko SNK 809 automatic is a safe bet, classic, reliable, and under $150. If you want a watch you never have to wind or charge, the Citizen ProMaster Diver Eco Drive runs on light and is ready for anything, usually around $300. For vintage vibes, the Timex Marlin Hand Wind brings 1960s cool for about $180. When you are ready to buy, stick to trusted sources. Authorized dealers, brand boutiques, or well-known online shops like Chrono24 and Watchbox are your best bet. If you go pre-owned, check for the original box, papers, and a clear service history. Watch out for fakes. If a deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. Serial numbers, reference numbers, and brand engravings should all line up. Do not be afraid to ask questions or request extra photos before you commit. Once your new watch is on your wrist, a little care goes a long way. For quartz watches, swap the battery every couple of years. For automatics and manuals, get a full service every 3 to 5 years. Keep your watch dry unless it is rated for swimming, and always check that the crown is pushed in or screwed down before getting near water. Store your watch in a soft pouch or box when you are not wearing it. Avoid magnets and big temperature swings, and do not polish the case too much. Every scratch tells your story. Clean with a soft cloth, and if you swap straps, use the right tools to avoid scratching the lugs. The right watch is not just about specs or price, it is about finding something that fits your life and feels right every time you glance down. That is where confidence comes from, not just knowing what you are wearing, but why you chose it. Every year, over 1.2 billion watches are made, yet only you decide what yours means. In a world powered by screens, wearing a watch is a choice to celebrate craft, identity, and time itself. Whether your first watch costs $50 or $50,000, the moment you put it on your wrist and understand what is inside it, it means something different. That is the magic of watches. Thank you for joining the journey.